What comes to mind when you hear the word Antichrist?
A destroyer of mankind. And the tech leaders and their scientists are even admitting the AI they created has humanity on a death march. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. That's why the true Antichrist is the science behind the zeros and ones, known as probabilistic science. That gives us AI. Those zeros and ones give tech the power to run humanity's AI program.
If you really want to see tech's motivation, just follow the money. Why do you think their scientists and CEOs are blabbing to the world that their AI is going to destroy mankind?
Because big tech created AI, no one else has touched their baby, their concern has to be a liability factor. In this country, when a corporation harms people, they're held liable. If tech brands AI as an uncontrollable alien force, the escape of accountability, they dodge the blame, and when AI does destroy our world, they will claim it was not them and they owe us nothing. Imagine Big Pharma lacing every drug with meth and cocaine. Soon the entire world would be hooked. They would have all the money to buy our lobbyists, just like tech has already done.
Yeah, fair point. But the difference is people can test medicine in a lab. Mankind has no way of fact-checking AI. It is invisible to everyone except tech.
Exactly. That secrecy is the Antichrist effect. Before 2007, before the smartphone, no one predicted America's collapse. But once tech gained access to our brain, the race to the bottom began. Only now are we connecting the dots, that AI is the Antichrist.
But you also argue that if AI were managed without profit and its only motive, it could serve humanity. It could be a hero.
Absolutely. But as things stand now, tech owns AI. Tech owns the lobbyists and our politicians. All of these parties may not be the Antichrist, but they are its enablers and bodyguards. Because of the Antichrist effect, humanity is no longer evolving. AI is not elevating us, it is harvesting us. It collects our data, then traps us in a loop, replaying the same life over and over. And what is the real purpose? To steer the American people's mind away from blaming big tech for the horrendous results that they're causing. That's why our trajectory arrow never rises. That's why the future feels like it's collapsing in slow motion. And that's why no one except me dares to question big tech.
So where is this Antichrist effect leading us to?
Well, when the United States finally hits rock bottom, and the moment is coming fast, there will be no way to recover. Who will benefit? China will. And not just by a small margin, by a mile. At this time, China will be the solo superpower.
How do they accomplish this?
The lesson is brutal. For the last 18 years, China used AI to win global diplomacy, while the United States tried to defend itself with people. But you can never defend a nation with flesh and blood when the other side arms themselves with machine intelligence. And here is another lesson about the Antichrist effect. One of the world will never forget. Never allow a democracy to be controlled by monopolistic corporations. Will not work. But one thing is certain. They are the top tier enablers of the probabilistic Antichrist. These facts are undeniable. While humans stare into their phones, tech collects the money, buys the lobbyists, twists the arms of our politician, and turn government into nothing more than a protector of bad science and dangerous AI. The Antichrist doesn't wear devil horns. He comes disguised as probabilistic computing, offering money and convenience. Humanity crown him king. The science becomes all about the money, and the circle will never stop unless someone breaks it. I'll be your huckleberry. No need for all of this gloom and doom. We can strip away the Antichrist magic carpet ride here on earth. The evil is not the science. The evil is the money in the science. This is where my DNA 2 comes in. We change the objective function of AI from money to people. And remember, it's just not me saying this. Jeffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, the man who knows it best, has warned the superintelligence will overtake humanity and drive civilization to a collapse. Even Elon Musk, AI's loudest cheerleader, says that AI is on the same road that leads to civilizational destruction.
It has the potential of civilizational destruction. Regulations are really only put into effect after something terrible has happened.
That's correct.
If that's the case for AI, and we're only putting regulations after something terrible has happened, it may be too late to actually put the regulations in place. The AI may be in control at that point.
You think that's real? It is conceivable that AI could take control and reach a point where you couldn't turn it off and it would be making the decisions for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
No, that's definitely where things are headed.
The adults of today remember when we were young. Our teachers, relatives, or anyone that cared about us asked, "What are your plans for the future? Are you going to trade school or college? What do you want to be?" This no longer exists. When the adults of today were children, they were influenced by people. Not anymore. Maybe you were influenced by a cousin, a parent, grandparents, maybe even a sibling or a friend taught you life lessons. No human alive is immune to being influenced. These instincts stay with us as we grow up to be young adults and follow us into adulthood. Being influenced is a common staple in all of us. If you're an adult of today, there's that one person that touched your life so deeply that you're still impacted today. I'm going to count to 10, and while I'm counting, I want you to think about this person that made you who you are today. I'll do the counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They are lucky and you're lucky. Our youth of today are cut off from people. They are influenced by their screen. Over the past 15 years, more young adults under the age of 35 have been influenced by Elon Musk. What's not to love? The rocket scientist, a billionaire, a risk taker, he even replaced NASA. What advice has Mr. Musk given to his young followers? Let's hear what he has to say out of his own mouth.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. You know, if you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college.
I wonder where Elon Musk would be at today without his education. What if he had been allowed to sit around and stare at a screen? I know I would be homeless, and so would most of the young people he mentored. His motto, do nothing with your life, don't worry about education, don't worry about college. Today, America has abandoned education, and now life is going to abandon us. Let's listen to the next video. A simple question was asked of Mr. Musk. Watch his answer.
I want to end on one AI question. You have a lot of kids. I have some kids. I have one who's actually soon to go into the workforce. I struggle with how to advise him about a career when this technology exists and will only improve. I'm just curious, when you think about advising your children on a career with so much that is changing, what do you tell them is going to be of value?
Well, that is a tough question to answer.
The tech CEOs are leading us into a magical world where nothing makes sense. Saying AI will do everything for mankind, including thinking. The one thing we can all agree upon is that in the past and in the future, we will spend more time at home. Let's listen to Mr. Musk as he explains what life will be like once AI has us at home.
If we do get to the sort of like magic genie situation where you can ask the AI for anything, how do we actually find fulfillment? You know, it's how do we find meaning in life if the AI could do your job better than you can? I mean, if I think about it too hard, it frankly can be dispiriting and demotivating. Ultimately, the AI can do all these things. Does that make sense? I don't know. To some extent, I have to have deliberate suspension of disbelief in order to remain motivated.
This is why the CEOs of tech must be replaced. I would think that no American would want to live at home under these conditions. Mr. Musk is admitting that life will have no purpose and no meaning. The future that these tech CEOs are building will be one of toleration, but that's not really living. It is alarming to me when Mr. Musk says he has to have a deliberate suspension of disbelief in order to do his job. This means to me that Mr. Musk has to put aside his core values to do his job. This means that Musk's occupation is a lot like other occupations. Other occupations that have to use a deliberate suspension of disbelief would be a person that works at a prison that administers lethal injections. That person has to come to grips with the reality that they're taking another person's life. The reason that Mr. Musk's accounts are so alarming is because of what he does for a living. He creates our AI that, by his own admission, will lead to civilizational destruction. Life must have purpose and meaning. Just laying around like a catatonic house cat is not really living. America, don't be foolish. We cannot blindly put our faith in this one world currency Elon Musk is promoting. Stop it. In this dream world of Musk, each person would receive $200,000 annually. Of course, no one can explain how it would be funded. Who's going to pay for it? It costs tech nothing to make these grandiose statements. America, do not hand over your financial future to a vague concept that have no clear plan. I hope no one is naive enough to believe that tech is going to gather up all of our money only to turn around and give it back to us. Countries could not agree on a measurement system like the metric system. Something as controversial and decisive as money could never be agreed upon. You have met the scientist from Google that practically invented AI, the man that knows AI better than anyone, who says AI will kill us, leaves Google. So, who does this leave at Google? Let me introduce to you the co-founder of Google, the man who runs it. His name is Larry Page. You may not know him, but I'll promise you, his AI knows you. What are Larry Page's beliefs? His belief is in an evolutionary race between man and AI, that if AI is more intelligent and replaces mankind, Page believes that man deserves to die. Next up, let's hear from one of Larry Page's old best friends.
Larry Page and I used to be close friends, and I would stay at his house in Palo Alto. And I would talk to him late into the night about AI safety. And at least my perception was that Larry was not taking AI safety seriously enough.
What did he say about it?
He really seemed to be one sort of digital superintelligence, basically digital God, if you will, as soon as possible.
He wanted that?
Yes. He's made many public statements over the years that the whole goal of Google is what's called AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, or Artificial Superintelligence. And then at one point, I said, well, what about, we're going to make sure humanity's okay here. And then he called me a speciesist.
Did he use that term?
Yes. And there were witnesses. I wasn't the only one there. That was the last straw. At the time, Google had acquired DeepMind, and so Google and DeepMind together had about 3/4 of all the AI talent in the world. They obviously had a tremendous amount of money and more computers than anyone else. So I'm like, okay, we have a unipolar world here, where there's just one company that has close to a monopoly on AI talent and computers, like scaled computing. And person who's in charge doesn't seem to care about safety.
Something has gone very wrong in America. Larry Page is more powerful than any president that has ever been elected. Someone with Page's beliefs should not be in a controlling position over America. Page would pick technology over humans. Someone with this belief system would be better suited in a mental hospital. What is so spooky? Let's listen to what Google's company motto was from the very beginning.
The early days of Google started in 1998 by two young Stanford grad students, Sergey Brin and Larry Page. In the beginning, they had no clear business model. Their unofficial motto was, "Don't be evil."
Wow, don't be evil. AI has gifted Larry Page to be the leader over all science behind AI, including quantum mechanics, quantum computers, and all of physics. According to Musk, Page wanted to be the equivalence of a god, a digital god. This has happened. Are you afraid? You should be.
That's the case for AI. It has the potential of civilizational destruction.
What is meant by civilizational destruction? This means mankind will be eliminated by AI. This is the future that we have to look forward to. I don't know about you, but this sounds less than wonderful. Plus, the part about dying is less than inspirational. I don't want the tech CEOs to control your future. I don't want them controlling my future. I don't want them controlling anybody's future.
America, you think you live in a democracy, but your leaders were selected by artificial intelligence, not by you. Unless real change is made, every American faces a future that will resemble hell on Earth. Time is closing in. Each day draws inevitably closer. Up until now, life has been a picnic, just you and your phone, fooling yourself into thinking you were safe. Do you think you are the luckiest generation to walk the earth? Do you really believe there would not be a price to pay for your screen addiction? Do you believe you can dance with the devil and not get burned? Fear not, my children. I send you Ted, who I have inspired you must follow. America, either turn or burn.
America's impending downfall started in 2007 with the smartphone. This is when the human brain was connected to AI through the satellite, the cell tower, and the device never more than 3 feet away. Here's the problem, America. These guys right here, the CEOs of our large tech corporations, placed an exact copy of the human brain inside of AI.
Don't be fooled, America. AI was created by man. It could be made to remove any one of man's unwanted traits. But what did the large tech corporations do? They placed man's nastiest trait, our will to dominate each other inside of AI.
So giant tech made a monumental mistake. They made a huge mistake by copying man's ego, but not just the ego, the superego, and tech placed it inside of AI. Inside of mankind, the superego is harmless. Humans lack the memory and intelligence to dominate and control the whole world. Plus, man is limited through our mortality. Even Alexander the Great died, but AI never dies. The large tech corporations will never die. So when tech placed the superego into AI, artificial intelligence does have the memory and the intelligence to take over a country like America. And yes, AI can replace a species like humans.
Earlier, you heard from Geoffrey Hinton, one of the founding fathers of AI, who warns that artificial intelligence would wipe out humanity. Now, another insider is sounding the alarm. Eric Schmidt, former CEO and executive chairman of Google for 17 years, has left the company and warns that mankind has 18 months left. America, what will it take for you to wake up?
America, you're going to want to watch this video. It will explain how AI is just a tool. plastic wires and electricity, waiting for people to tell it what to do. It's not the fault of a chainsaw if it's used in a murder. Likewise, it's not the fault of AI if it destroys America's future. The chainsaw and AI are just tools being used. The blame lies with the tech CEOs who control AI. A similar example can be drawn from atomic energy. It can power cities with clean electricity or destroy them with an atomic bomb. The technology itself isn't inherently good or evil. It depends on how it's used. Today, the tech giants are programming AI with the relentless pursuit of profit. The result is this overwhelmingly powerful tool tilts the playing field so drastically in tech's favor that people can no longer compete. Americans are taking no real actions on this AI problem. And how can we? As long as Americans think the tech CEOs are supermen. This keeps the American people frozen in our tracks. Yes, they build shiny gadgets and flashy products, but they're undermining the value of our dollar. And when our buying power is gone, how will we be able to afford the things that they sell? The solution is simple. The AI in America that is controlled by tech must be controlled by the American people. Once the American people have control of AI, the objective function of AI can be programmed to fit what is in the best interest of the American people. With the American people in control of AI, we would start prospering immediately, just like tech is doing now. The true nature of the problem should be clear for all to see. Nothing is more consequential than the objective function. Whoever controls it determines if the American people survive or fail.
The upcoming experts will explain how our power grid could go down at any time. We've all been through power outages, usually a couple of days, maybe a week at the most, but we're not talking about this kind of power outage. We're talking about the nationwide electrical power grid, and it's ready to go down. What would no electricity mean to the American people? No cell service to check on loved ones. No gas or diesel means no water in the grocery store. Our local municipal water plants require electricity. Without electricity, this means there is no water in the tap, no water in the grocery store. The bad news for humans, our body will only last 5 days without water. The American people without constant electricity face an apocalyptic ending. Wow, what a way to die. Let's hear what the experts have to say.
America, brace yourselves. We are teetering on the precipice of a cataclysmic power crisis, far more dire than most realize. Our aging, overburdened power infrastructure is buckling under the relentless strain of soaring demand, exacerbated by outdated equipment, a swelling population, and the insatiable energy appetites of modern technology. Each day, our power grid teeters on the brink of disaster. The specter of a total grid collapse is not a distant possibility, but an imminent threat. When this blackout strikes, it won't be a mere inconvenience, but an extended nightmare of unrelenting darkness. Picture the chaos of hospitals losing power, emergency services crippled, and basic communications severed. Much of this decaying system was constructed using cheaply sourced, substandard components from China. Despite numerous initiatives to sever our reliance on Chinese manufactured materials, from transformers and insulators to solar panels and switches, our dependency remains perilously high. When a critical piece of this frail system fails, the resulting downtimes are growing alarmingly prolonged. Replacement parts are becoming increasingly scarce, and backups are often non-existent. As the relationship with China continues to deteriorate, American manufacturing struggles to meet the urgent demand for components, prioritizing profits over the dire need for reliability. Our energy sector is entangled in a vicious war for profit. We've introduced energy-devouring technologies like cryptocurrency mining, artificial intelligence, cloud storage, electric vehicles, all of which ravenously consume our limited power supply.
Why is the United States power grid in such horrible shape? And why is it being ignored? Because our government is not allowed to spend money without asking tech. If tech opposes any bill, it dies on the vine and never becomes law. Tech does not have their greedy hands in those businesses that will replace our power grid. This means tech will not allow our government to spend between the $5 and $9 trillion that it would take to repair our power grid.
In addition, tech is sabotaging our power grid by building countless data centers. What's a data center? It's a giant warehouse full of servers and computers that use more electricity than a small country. But for tech to continue their profit machine, they need these data centers. They want our data. They need the electricity to run the AI so they can have more profits.
This is why the tech executives must be replaced. Their plan lacks decency and common sense. The tech CEOs are blatantly risking the lives of each and every American every day. Why? So some rich guys can get richer. We will be listening to an upcoming expert as they describe how tech is going to run the American people out of energy. America, do you know what happens when we don't have continuous electricity? We die. Next up, the NPR radio.
To help us get a better idea of the overall AI picture, we want to start today's episode with Karen Howe. She's a contributing writer for The Atlantic who also has an engineering degree from MIT. And you've written that Microsoft alone is on pace to build between 50 and 100 new data centers each year for the foreseeable future.
The amount that Microsoft has been spending on data centers has dramatically increased. So they're spending around $10 billion a quarter now.
We're building these things that are going to need this energy supply that doesn't yet exist. We're creating these, I'm just getting all worked up here talking with you about how we're creating these beasts and the implications of what's being created and how it seemed to be that the seduction of AI and the profits is taking Microsoft off course.
And not just Microsoft, I think the entire tech industry, Google, Amazon, all of these companies, and now all of them are in this race to the bottom to basically lay down as many data centers as they can to support a technology, a version of AI, generative AI, that still has not fully demonstrated clear value to people.
Right. Well, we've lots of hype cycles from Silicon Valley that don't pan out the way the tech bros promise. So do you ever get angry reporting on this?
I mean, recently there was this article from The Information scooping the fact that Microsoft is sketching out plans to build a data center that would cost $100 billion. Just a single data center that would cost $100 billion. And it would be the most expensive and the largest and the most powerful data center that has ever been built in the history of humanity. And just seeing this kind of headline, it does make me angry because I'm like, what are we doing here? Has no one noticed what we are allowing these companies to do? Are we just going to continue sleepwalking into this future where we end up with no energy, or we end up consuming more and more and more and more fossil fuels into our oblivion?
The text AI is telling us not to worry. America, you better worry. The power grid has nothing to do with the coal plants and the nuclear plants. The machinery that operates our electrical power grids nationwide are the lines and the substations. I mention this so you don't fall for tech's line of deceit. Tech has promised for years that they will be at zero emission. Now they're building these data centers, so they know the American people will fall on any kind of story. They have even concocted a story where they're going to drill down to the Earth's core with thermodynamics to power their data centers. America, this would take 50 years. Don't fall for tech's rhetoric.
By now, you should be asking yourself, how is it possible for Ted to be so much smarter than artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence listens to man. Ted is listening to me. You cannot serve two masters. Who will it be? America, the tech CEOs, or me?